Hey there, Gemini. This is your tarot card reading for the week of March 14th to March 20th, 2022. During this week, on March the 18th, there is going to be a full moon in Virgo. And for you, this energy will be in the 4th house of home, which is basically family, youth, ancestry. So take a look during this week to see if there's any intensity in the area of the home. So here we have the Oracle card says to be fair. So this is similar to the Justice card. So if there is something that you are wanting to go a certain way, know that the result will be fairness, justice. So let's see. Also, for the full moon in Virgo, one thing you might want to try and accomplish is to release any type of criticism. So maybe the to be fair has to do with that. So let's see where fairness needs to be in your life, Gemini. You have the Ace of Cups, which is basically relationships, feelings. So if there's some type of disagreements that you're having, in particular with anyone in your family, then just try to be fair when it comes to that and have an open heart, an open mind. So let's see how you can be more fair when it comes to the Ace of Cups. You have the Two of Cups. So recognizing that when you want to come together as a union, whether it's an agreement, a relationship, some type of decision being made, that it shouldn't be done half-hearted. It should be done in a full-hearted way so that it is fair. Everyone has, both parties I should say, have an expectation, and not only of a goal, common goal, but that each party will be putting in their effort to reach that goal. So let's see in terms of how you can take the approach of being more fair when it comes to making relationships. What kind of next steps is there? You have the Ace of Swords. That's about having a sense of clarity. It's also a sense of fairness and doing what is right. So if there is some argument that you have had with someone else, or some kind of criticism that you had of someone, just being clear, maybe having the facts straight, would be a good first step in that. So let's take a look to see what obstacles there are to this fairness here. You have Seven of Cups, and that's kind of having a lot of balls in the air, a lot of not exactly knowing what it is that you're going for, and really to know what to follow, you have to follow your heart. So let's see in terms of where your attention is, Gemini, right now. It's on the Ten of Wands. So they're this person looks like they're moving. I don't know if you're moving anytime soon. Maybe some people will be, but it seems like there is a feeling of taking on too much responsibility, too much burden. If this is something that's going on in your home, or if it's going on at work and the kind of excess baggage from that is affecting the home, then that can make it so things aren't really fair in terms of who does what, responsibilities, and kind of like agreements to meet in the middle. That's not really being met. So let's see here. Let's take a look at what this Ten of Wands relates to. You have the Temperance card, which is about moderation and balance. So if there's someone who is a workaholic, or someone who really, stays up all night reading romance novels, or spends hours upon hours playing video games, really you want to kind of have a sense of balance in that. So let's see here. You already have a sense of the facts to kind of get this equal footing and fairness. And the Temperance card, it's not only about balance and moderation, it's recognizing the past and present to have like a clear future. So let's take a look at what future is kind of the goal at this point. You have the Tower, which indicates there's it's more about the past not being stable. So I'm sensing that there's something that's really still not resolved. Some kind of aspect in a belief system that's not resolved. And let's take a look at what that is. You have the Ten of Swords. So it feels like there might be a sense of kind of a betrayal, that someone had to carry too much of not only the burden, but too much of like the strategizing to even figure out what to do. This could be like, paying the rent, how to make ends meet. That not only the burden of the stress, but just kind of was taking on the full load of the consequences as well. So I'm going to take a look here. The Seven of Cups is really calling to me, and so is the Ten of Wands. So I'm going to take a look at how are those kind of connected for you, Gemini. You have the Queen of Swords. So it's almost as if you are taking on that role. And the To Be Fair card, the Queen of Swords, and the Justice card are kind of the same energy of you are wanting things to be easy, but you're also the one making it hard. And it's almost as if you need to be willing to share the responsibilities, delegate in some way. So let's see what happens if you start honestly calling out what's going on. And just being honest in the communication. That's what the Queen of Swords does. They're fair, they're honest, and they make decisions with a balanced heart and mind. And they're basically, you're independent to a certain degree, but it's almost like you're independent to the extent of taking on someone else's problems or trying to do all the work for them. If it's a partnership, you're almost picking up the slack before there could be any slack, and you're getting all the facts, clear before you even know what the issue is. So it's almost like you're scrambling to have a sense of balance, but doing too much to achieve that. So so if you're honest about things and you start calling it out, where you recognize, not only calling out other people but yourself, calling out yourself on when you're not even sure what the issue is but trying to fix everything all at once. Let's see what result we start communicating honestly with yourself and with others. You have the Page of Swords. So it's basically, you're looking at things from a perspective of wanting to gain more information, just being curious, being open to the possibility of being wrong. And when you do that, you don't make other people wrong. So, for example, if there is something going on at home and you think someone is, making pancakes incorrectly, or the pancakes are burning, instead of making sure and hovering over them so that they don't burn the pancakes, perhaps just be curious. Oh, so how do you make your pancakes so good? How long do you cook it on each side? And if there's some kind of, in that discussion, if there's some kind of information that you learn, you can say, oh, well, you cook it for 4 minutes on each side. I read somewhere that it should be 2.5 minutes. And I don't know if this is accurate or not. But it just creates a dialogue of communication where it's just being curious and sharing information and not necessarily being critical or judgmental. And it allows for you to kind of truly see things clearly and truly be open. And it's not necessarily, I wouldn't say it's being false, even though you have an agenda. Everyone has an agenda, whether or not they admit it to themselves or not. It's basically communicating in a way that is curious and allows for possibilities instead of dead ends, if that makes sense. So I'm going to pull one last oracle card to see which animal totem will guide you the week of March the 14th. You have Squirrel, always prepared. You are the expert of hard work and hard play. Your cheerful and fun disposition is a blessing to everyone. Don't let life's distraction take you off course. Make a plan for the future, and life will give you all you need. So yeah, it seems like you have typically been prepared for everything, but the best way to prepare is to, let's see here, I like this, cheerful and fun disposition. So however you're communicating, make sure it's with a sense of curiosity and cheerful and fun disposition. For a full sign or a full sense of what's going on, make sure to check out your readings for the sun, moon, and rising signs I'm hoping that this provides a helpful perspective, and we'll see you next time. Take care.